Welcome back to our channel, my dear friends. We often think more will make life better. More money, more things, more success. But sometimes, more only brings more stress. Real happiness can come from something simple. Knowing what matters and letting go of what doesn't. Today, we will discover the power of simplicity and how it can bring more focus, freedom, and peace into your life. Sometimes, less is not less. Less is freedom. So, let's begin. Lesson 1. Remove what does not add value to your life. Many people think improving life means adding something new. A new habit, a new goal, a new product, a new plan, a new responsibility. But sometimes, your life does not need more. It needs less. Less distraction, less unnecessary stress, less comparison, less noise, less time spent on things that give you nothing back. Think about your room. Imagine it is full of things you never use. Old clothes, empty boxes, broken items, things you bought but forgot about. Every time you enter, the room feels crowded. Then one day you remove everything you no longer need. Suddenly, the same room feels bigger. The room did not become larger. You simply created space. Your life works in a similar way. Sometimes you feel tired not because you are doing too little, but because you are carrying too much. You have too many plans, too many unfinished tasks, too many notifications, too many things fighting for your attention, and your mind never gets a chance to become quiet. This is where simplicity begins. Ask yourself, does this really add value to my life? You can ask this about almost anything. Your habits, your possessions, your commitments, the content you watch, the way you spend your time, even the thoughts you keep repeating. If something constantly takes your time, energy, or peace but gives you almost nothing useful, maybe you do not need more of it. Maybe you need less. For example, think about your phone. You open it to answer one message. Then you see a notification. You check it. You open another app. You watch one short video. Then another. 30 minutes disappear. Nothing terrible happened, but nothing important happened either. Do this several times every day, and hours of your life can quietly disappear. You do not have to throw your phone away. Simplicity is not about removing everything you enjoy. It is about using things with purpose instead of allowing them to control your attention. Turn off notifications you do not need. Remove apps you rarely use. Keep your phone away while doing important work. Create moments when you are not available to every sound and message. Give your mind some space. The same idea applies to your goals. Sometimes, people have 10 goals at the same time. They want to exercise every day. Learn 3 skills. Start a business. Read 50 books. Wake up at 5 a.m., travel more, save money, create content, learn a language, change their entire life. They begin everything, then they become tired and finish almost nothing. What if you chose fewer goals? Maybe one important goal for your health, one for your work, one for your personal growth. Then give those goals real attention. Doing fewer things well can be more powerful than doing many things badly. Simplicity also means learning to say no. Every invitation does not need a yes. Every request does not need your time. Every argument does not need your opinion. Every opportunity is not the right opportunity. Sometimes saying no protects the things you already decided were important. Imagine you have 2 hours to work on something meaningful. Then 5 small distractions appear. If you say yes to all of them, your important work receives whatever time is left. Usually, very little. So protect what matters. Your life becomes simpler when your priorities become clearer. You should also look at what you own. We sometimes buy things because they are new, popular, or exciting. For a short time, they make us happy. Then they become normal. Soon, we want something else. There is nothing wrong with enjoying nice things, but be careful about believing that every new thing will create a better life. Sometimes, having less can mean having less to organize, clean, maintain, pay for, and worry about. Own things that serve your life. Do not build your life around owning things. And simplicity is not only about physical things. You may also be carrying old anger, a mistake from 5 years ago, an argument that ended months ago, someone's opinion that still lives in your head, a situation you cannot change. Ask yourself, do I still need to carry this? If there is something useful you can do it. Apologize. Have the conversation, learn the lesson, fix what you can. But if nothing can be changed, slowly learn to release it. Your mind also needs space. Imagine carrying a heavy bag everywhere. Every unnecessary worry adds another stone. At first, you can manage it, but after enough stones, even walking becomes difficult. Simplicity means looking inside that bag and removing what you no longer need to carry. This does not happen in one day. Start small. Clean one part of your room. Remove one unnecessary app. Say no to one thing that wastes your time. Finish one unfinished task. Choose one important goal. Let go of one problem you cannot control. Small changes can create a surprising amount of peace. And when you remove what does not matter, something beautiful happens. You create more room for what does. More time for family. More attention for your goals. More energy for your health. More space for learning. More quiet moments. More appreciation for what you already have. That is the real power of simplicity. It is not about having an empty life. It is about removing the unnecessary so you can fully enjoy the necessary. You do not always need to add something to make your life better. Sometimes, the most powerful change is deciding what you no longer need. Remove the noise, protect what matters, and give your life room to breathe. And before we start lesson 2, please like this video because your one like gives me motivation to create more helpful videos for you. Lesson 2. Focus on what truly matters. Life can become complicated when everything feels important. Your phone needs attention. Work needs attention. Friends need attention. Family needs attention. Your goals need attention. Messages keep coming. New problems appear. And suddenly, your mind is trying to handle everything at once. But the truth is, not everything deserves the same amount of your attention. Simplicity begins when you learn to separate what is important from what is only making noise. Imagine you wake up with 3 important tasks. You know exactly what needs to be done. But before starting, you check your phone. You answer messages. You watch a few videos. You read something online. You reply to a comment. An hour disappears. You were busy. But were you productive? There is a difference. Being busy means doing things. Being productive means doing things that actually matter. You can stay busy all day and still make very little progress. That is why you need priorities. At the beginning of your day, ask yourself, what are the most important things I need to do today? Maybe you have 10 tasks, but perhaps only 2 or 3 truly matter. Start with those. Do not give your best energy to small things and then leave your biggest goal for the end of the day. Give important work a clear place in your schedule. The same idea applies to your bigger life. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? Maybe it is your health, your family, your career, your peace, your personal growth, your dream. Once you know what matters, your decisions become easier. Suppose health is important to you. Then making time for exercise becomes easier to understand. Suppose your family matters deeply. Then spending real time with them becomes more important than constantly scrolling on your phone. Suppose you want to build a successful career. Then learning useful skills deserves more attention than watching what everyone else is doing. Clear priorities create simpler decisions. You should also learn to focus on one thing at a time. Many people try to do everything together. They study while checking messages. They eat while watching videos. They talk to someone while looking at their phone. They work while thinking about 5 different problems. Their body is in one place, but their mind is everywhere. Try something different. When you work, work. When you study, study. When you eat, enjoy your food. When you talk with someone, listen. When you rest, allow yourself to rest. Give the moment your full attention. You may discover that life feels much calmer when your mind is not constantly jumping from one thing to another. And remember, focusing on what matters also means accepting that some things will remain undone. You cannot do everything. You cannot accept every invitation. You cannot learn every skill. You cannot follow every opportunity. You cannot make everyone happy. There are only 24 hours in a day. Choosing one thing often means leaving something else. That is not failure. That is life. Imagine sunlight passing through a magnifying glass. When the light is spread everywhere, nothing special happens. But when it is focused on one point, it becomes powerful. Your attention works in a similar way. If you spread your energy across too many things, you may feel tired without creating meaningful progress. But when you focus your energy on a few important areas, your effort becomes stronger. Your power grows when your attention stops going everywhere. This is especially important when you have a big goal. Do not keep changing direction every week. You see someone starting a business, so you want to start one. Then you see someone traveling, so you want that life. Then someone talks about a new skill, and suddenly you want to learn that too. Soon you are chasing 10 different lives. Stop. Come back to yourself. Ask, what do I actually want? Your answer does not need to impress anyone. It only needs to be meaningful to you. Choose your direction. Then give it time. Great things often require long periods of focused effort. And do not confuse what is urgent with what is important. A notification feels urgent because it makes a sound. That does not mean it deserves your attention. Your health may not send a notification. Your dream may not call you. Your family may not always ask for your time. But these things may be much more important. Pay attention to the quiet things that build a good life. Exercise, rest, learning, meaningful work, real conversations, time with people you love. These things may not always feel exciting, but they matter. At the end of the day, simplicity is not about doing nothing. It is about knowing what deserves your energy. You still work. You still have responsibilities. You still have goals. But instead of trying to carry everything equally, you make conscious choices. You do not need to do everything to build a meaningful life. Decide what truly matters. Give it your best attention, and have the courage to let unnecessary things wait. A simple life is not an empty life. It is a life where the important things finally have enough space to grow. Lesson 3. Stop making simple things complicated. Sometimes, the problem is not that life is too difficult. The problem is that we make simple things harder than they need to be. We think too much. We plan too much. We wait for perfect conditions. We search for the perfect method. And sometimes we spend more time preparing to do something than actually doing it. Imagine you want to start exercising. The simple answer is, move your body regularly. But then you begin thinking, what is the perfect workout? What is the best time? What clothes should I wear? Which exercise is better? Should I train for 30 minutes or 45? You watch 20 videos trying to find the perfect answer. A week passes. You still have not exercised. Sometimes, you do not need more information. You need to begin. Go for a walk. Do a simple workout. Start with what you know. You can improve your plan later. The same thing happens when learning English. People think, which book should I buy? Which app is best? Should I learn grammar first? How many words should I learn every day? What accent should I use? These questions can be useful, but if you spend months searching for the perfect method without speaking, you're making the process harder. Start using English. Read something simple. Listen carefully. Speak a few sentences. Learn useful words. Repeat tomorrow. Simple practice done regularly is better than a perfect plan you never follow. We also make decisions complicated. Sometimes deep thinking is necessary. A career change, marriage, business investment, or major financial decision deserves careful thought. But not every small decision needs an hour of thinking. What should I wear? What should I eat? Should I exercise now or later? Should I start today or Monday? Too many small decisions can make your mind tired. Create simple rules. Prepare your clothes earlier. Plan your meals. Choose a regular time for exercise. Decide when you will work. When something useful becomes part of your routine, you do not need to negotiate with yourself every day. Simplicity saves mental energy. Another way we complicate life is by trying to control things we cannot control. You cannot control what everyone thinks about you. You cannot control the past. You cannot control every result. You cannot control whether every person likes you. But you can control your next action. So instead of asking, what if everything goes wrong? Ask, what can I do right now? Maybe you can prepare. Maybe you can practice. Maybe you can apologize. Maybe you can make a phone call. Maybe you can take the first step. Focus on the part that belongs to you. Let the rest happen when it happens. We also make communication complicated. Someone says something. Instead of asking what they meant, we create 10 different stories in our minds. Maybe they are angry. Maybe they don't like me. Maybe I did something wrong. Sometimes, one simple conversation can save hours of overthinking. Ask, listen, speak clearly. Do not create a problem in your imagination before you know whether the problem is real. And stop expecting yourself to solve your entire life today. You do not need to know exactly where you will be 10 years from now. You need a direction and a next step. Think about driving at night. Your headlights do not show the entire road to your destination. They only show the road in front of you. But that is enough to keep moving. Life can work the same way. You may not see the whole journey. Take the next clear step. Then you will see what comes after it. This is especially important when a goal feels huge. Do not think, I have to completely change my life. That feels heavy. Instead, ask, what is one thing I can improve today? Clean your desk. Walk for 20 minutes. Read 5 pages. Save a little money. Finish one task. Make one healthy meal. Practice your skill. One simple action gives you momentum. Then you can build from there. You do not need a complicated system to make progress. Often the basics are enough. Eat reasonably well. Move your body. Sleep properly. Spend less than you earn. Learn useful skills. Treat people well. Protect your time. Do meaningful work. Keep your promises. None of these ideas sound magical. But simple does not mean weak. Simple things become powerful when you actually do them. That is the lesson. Do not reject a useful idea just because it sounds too basic. The basics work when you practice them consistently. You do not need to make everything perfect before you begin. Stop adding unnecessary steps. Stop thinking about every possible problem and focus on the next useful action. Life will always have difficult moments, but do not make it heavier by complicating what can remain simple. Keep the plan clear. Take the next step. Then keep moving. Lesson 4. Learn to enjoy enough. One reason life becomes complicated is because we are always chasing more. More money, more clothes, a bigger house, a better phone, more followers, more attention, more success. There's nothing wrong with wanting to improve your life. There is nothing wrong with having dreams. But there is a problem when nothing ever feels enough. You buy something you really wanted. For a few days, you feel excited. Then it becomes normal. Soon, you start thinking about the next thing. You reach one goal. Instead of enjoying it, you immediately look at someone who has achieved more. You tell yourself, I will be happy when I get there. Then you get there and create a new there. This can continue forever. That is why simplicity teaches us an important question. What is enough for me? Enough does not mean giving up on your dreams. It means learning to appreciate your life while you are still improving it. You can want a better future and still enjoy today. You can work for more money and still be thankful for what you already have. You can improve your body without hating how you look today. You can chase a big dream without treating your current life like it has no value. Growth and gratitude can exist together. Think about food. If you are hungry, a simple meal can feel wonderful. But when you constantly have more than you need, you may stop appreciating it. The food did not lose its value. You simply became used to having it. The same thing happens with many parts of life. A comfortable bed, clean water, a peaceful morning, your health, a conversation with someone you love, the ability to walk outside, time with your parents, a good friend. These things may not look exciting enough to post online, but they can be some of the most valuable parts of your life. Do not become so busy chasing extraordinary moments that you stop noticing ordinary happiness. Social media can make this difficult. Every day you see what other people have. Someone has a better car. Someone is traveling. Someone has a beautiful home. Someone looks more successful. Suddenly, what you already have begins to feel small. But before you saw their life, maybe you were perfectly happy with yours. Nothing changed in your life. Only the comparison changed. Be careful. You can spend your entire life upgrading things you never had a problem with until you saw someone else's version. Ask yourself, do I really want this? Or did I just see someone else having it? That simple question can save you money, time, and unnecessary pressure. Simplicity also means understanding that more choices do not always create more happiness. Imagine opening a menu with 5 options. Choosing may be easy. Now imagine a menu with 500 options. You may spend more time thinking about what you are missing than enjoying what you choose. Life can become similar. When you constantly search for something better, you may struggle to enjoy what is already good. Sometimes, happiness comes from choosing something and being present with it. Eat the meal. Enjoy the conversation. Wear the clothes. Use the phone. Spend time with the people you love. Stop asking every moment whether something better exists somewhere else. There will almost always be something bigger, newer, faster, or more expensive. If your happiness depends on having the best of everything, peace will be difficult to find. You also need to define success for yourself. Maybe you do not want the biggest house. Maybe you want enough money to live comfortably and more time with your family. Maybe you do not want to become famous. Maybe you want meaningful work and a peaceful life. Maybe you do not want to compete with everyone. Maybe you simply want to become better than the person you were before. That is okay. Your life does not need to impress everyone to be valuable to you. Imagine a man who spends years chasing money. Every time his income grows, his lifestyle grows too. A bigger car, a more expensive home, more things, more responsibilities. He earns more than ever, but he has less time and more stress. One evening, he asks himself, "What am I actually trying to reach?" He realizes he never decided what enough meant. So there was no finish line. This can happen with anything: money, success, attention, possessions, even productivity. If you never define enough, you may always feel behind. This does not mean you should stop growing. Keep learning, keep building, keep improving. But do not make happiness something you are only allowed to experience after your next achievement. Give yourself permission to enjoy the life you are building. Notice what is already good. Look around sometimes and say, "This may not be everything I want yet, but there is still something here worth appreciating." That mindset creates peace. And gratitude does not make you less ambitious. It can actually make your ambition healthier. Instead of chasing success because you feel empty, you begin building because you genuinely want to grow. You are no longer trying to prove your value through everything you own or achieve. You already understand that your life has value. A simple life is not a life without dreams. It is a life where your dreams do not stop you from appreciating what you already have. Work for better. Dream bigger if that is what you truly want. But learn to recognize enough. Because sometimes, the richest person is not the one who owns the most. It is the person who can enjoy what they already have. Lesson 5. Create simple habits that make life easier. A simple life does not happen by accident. You create it through the small things you do every day. Many people make improvement difficult because they try to change everything at once. They create a perfect morning routine. They decide to exercise every day, read for an hour, eat perfectly, wake up very early, learn a new skill, stop using social media. Then, after a few days, they become tired and return to their old routine. The problem is not that they cannot change. They simply try to change too much at the same time. Simplicity means making good actions easy enough to repeat. If you want to read more, start with a few pages. If you want to exercise, begin with a short workout. If you want to improve your English, practice for 15 minutes. If you want to save money, start with an amount you can manage. If you want to wake up earlier, change your sleeping time slowly. Do not make the beginning so difficult that you are afraid to continue. A small habit you follow is better than a perfect routine you quit. Another useful habit is preparing things before you need them. If you exercise in the morning, prepare your clothes at night. If you have important work tomorrow, write down the first task before going to bed. If you want to eat better, keep simple, healthy choices available. If you want to spend less time on your phone, keep it away from your desk while working. Small preparation removes unnecessary decisions. Your day becomes easier because you already know what to do. You can also simplify your schedule. You do not need to plan every minute. Choose a few important things. Ask yourself in the morning, what are the 3 things I really need to complete today? Start there. If you finish more, great. But do not create a list of 20 tasks and then feel like a failure because you completed 10. A shorter list can help you focus on what actually matters. Simple habits also protect your mind. Create moments without noise. You do not need your phone during every free second. Sometimes, sit quietly. Walk without constantly checking notifications. Eat without watching something. Spend a few minutes thinking. Your brain does not always need more information. Sometimes, it needs space. You can also create a simple evening routine. Finish your important work. Prepare for tomorrow. Put unnecessary screens away. Slow down. Let your body understand that the day is ending. You do not need a complicated 10-step routine. Find something realistic that helps you rest. Remember, habits should serve your life. Your life should not become a prison built around your routine. If something changes, adjust. If you miss a day, return. If a habit is no longer useful, change it. The goal is not perfection. The goal is making everyday life smoother. Imagine someone who used to begin every morning in confusion. They woke up late. They searched for clothes. They checked their phone. They forgot important tasks. Every morning felt stressful. Then they made 3 small changes. They prepared their clothes at night. They wrote down tomorrow's main task. They stopped checking social media immediately after waking up. Nothing dramatic changed overnight, but their mornings became calmer. Their mind became clearer. They started their day with direction. That is the power of simple habits. You do not always need a huge life change. Sometimes, removing one bad habit and creating one useful routine can make your entire day feel different. So do not ask, how can I completely change my life this week? Ask, what can I make simpler today? Maybe your morning, your workspace, your phone use, your study routine, your spending, your evening. Start with one area, make it easier. Then continue. Always remember, a better life is often built through simple actions that are easy to repeat. You do not need the perfect routine. You need a few useful habits that make the right choices easier. Keep it clear. Keep it realistic. Keep doing what works. Simple habits can create a calmer and stronger life. My dear friends, life does not always become better by adding more. Sometimes you need less stress, less noise, fewer distractions, and more space for what truly matters. Keep your goals clear. Enjoy what you already have. Build simple habits. Protect your peace. And stop making life harder than it needs to be. You do not need a perfect life to be happy. Sometimes, a simple life is a beautiful life. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And always remember, keep life simple. Focus on what matters. Let go of the rest.